It's Ahmed again. Media show here, the show that believes that the Israelis plays football, American football, and Palestinian play soccer. I've been talking about this for the last 4 months about the war in Gaza and the massive indiscriminate bombing of Palestinians. 30,000 are killed, mostly women and children, destruction of a city of almost 3 million people. A lot of people talking and analyzing, and pundits, Western media, BBC. It's really an interesting. I know this is a new development about the Israelis gearing again to storm or to attack Rafah. They've been bombing for a few days. And the whole world is just watching a football game. That just all you can do is just watch. But I've been thinking since the Super Bowl this Sunday, was last Sunday, I think yesterday, and this is really a huge, biggest event of the year. 100. More than 120 million American watched the Super Bowl between Kansas City and 49ers. That bring a lot of millions of dollars to the economy. It's market ticket over $10,000 to go and see the game. You have to spend $4 or $5 million for a 30-second ad. So I was thinking, if we fail to explain to the American people the Palestinian story, and wonder why the Palestinian stories and the Palestinian tragedy does not resonate with millions of Americans. And, we tried the historical analysis, we tried the political analysis. Israel is a colonial watchdog project for the West, and it's a military base, basically. American provide them with weapons. Explanation, all this analysis, and still millions of Americans support the Zionist state, and they blame the Palestinians for resisting and refusing to give up. Even Arab Zionists, they play the game. They're just waiting for the Israelis to finish off Hamas. That's all they are doing. They wish, the Israelis could have done it sooner. And they give them 100 days to finish Hamas, and it's over 100 days, reporting are saying. So why the Israelis still stuck in Gaza? They are the one who's stuck in tunnels there. Tunnels, myopic thinking. This modern state with all this technology, they should be winning. They should be finishing up Hamas and Palestinian resistance in a few weeks, but it's not happening. Only 10%, according to the military report, even the Israelis military reports, of Hamas militant eliminated. So I'm gonna explain the Israelis Palestinian conflict in a language that most of Americans would understand. The language of sport, the language of football. So, if that many people were getting in to watch the game in homes and parties and bars and drinking and eating and dancing and as the Israelis bombing and killing, that must be something is wrong. So I'm just trying to understand and explain why the the American fascination of the Israelis and the Israeli story, and I'm not paying attention to the Palestinian story. In Israeli-Palestinian conflicts, Israel with overwhelming military superiority and myopic thinking plays, wage a war as if they're playing football. Heavy equipment, heavy gear behind tanks, behind air forces, behind military equipment. And the Palestinians are just playing, and it's like soccer players skillfully maneuvering, and they have field advantage. And that's probably why Americans don't understand and don't understand the Palestinian story. It's not a soccer culture. They don't play soccer. They don't understand it. Whatever happened to America exceptionalism, they have that, That's not our game or a football. David Brock once said, the American parochialism, we don't want to participate in world culture. That's why we don't play soccer, which is world football. And Coulter, when she was like a firebrand on Fox News, once said, no American whose great-grandfather was born here is watching soccer. The game is, football game is played with oversized, overcoached, and over-equipped player, like the Israelis fighting in Gaza, representing our mother gladiator facing death over territories. The same mentality. The game organized play by play in a book, and even before they start, everyone knows exactly what are the role in the battlefield. The game is linear, forward, predictable, and territorial, whereas soccer is more spontaneous, creative, simple, and unlike football, it is not so much about occupation of territory and smashing your opponents. It is about shifting position, maneuvering, and running, series of attacks and retreats and hiding, winning without physical elimination, without occupying territories, avoiding opponents' strengths. While football is all about domination, destroying your opponents. The Palestinian fighter in Gaza may have lost the military war, but they won the culture war. Israelis behind camera helmets and Air Forces warship, tanks, airplane, rocket, Iron Dome, and submarines. But the Palestinians resist, as in soccer. Palestinian fighter maneuvering, retreating, hiding, using all technology. Remember in Intifada 1 and 2, and all throughout the Palestinian resistance to the Israelis' hegemony and occupation and Western influence in the area. They've been fighting the occupation and the Israeli troops with slingshots, rocks, and maneuvering, retreating, and the Palestinian militants, even in 7 October, they used primitive old technology, balloons and flying bikes, and now they are in tunnels. So there is some resemblance in how the Israelis and the Palestinians are fighting between football, American football, and soccer, which was world football. And you can tell the brilliance of Palestinian fighters throughout the war with Israel. Like a clever soccer player, retreat and went underground and when needed, as the French intellectual Jean Baudouin explained, how you resist a hyperpower state. Never attack the system in terms of relationship of force. That's imagination. The system itself forces open you. Shift the struggle into the symbolic sphere. The Palestinians brought the Israelis' army into their own game. They brought him to play soccer. Football player could not play soccer. They were too big, too immovable, and way overdressed. And this made the Israelis' military superiority irrelevant. You can't bring tanks inside a tunnel. You can't bomb enemies you cannot see. You can't shoot a child with a rock or a slingshot. So soccer is a game about life, drama, and disappointment. It is not about winning and occupying territory. Football is a game where violence is celebrated and glorified, where players hit and tackle and celebrate. Every time they hit somebody and they knock them off, they celebrate and jump. But in soccer, violence is shunned and punished. Players avoid hitting and tackling. And the reaction to violence is exaggerated. If you touch a soccer player, he's just knocked down like he's been shot. It's not fear or fake, and it's just telling you violence should be condemned. When you notice player really object to in football, a football player really test calls of referees, no matter how the call is, wherever the case may be. Football player, they accept it, go to a huddle, get the instruction for the next attack. They just follow order. However, a soccer player constantly object and protest referees' call. They have a sense of justice and show their grievances all the time, even to the authority. But football player, they just follow the rules. The very mother gladiator is a mother control violence, but they never protest. They never. They just follow orders, follow the rules, follow the playbook. The Jewish Polish sociologist Zygmunt Bauman once said in his brilliant book Modernity and the Holocaust that throughout the history, most of the atrocity been committed by people who follow the laws, follow orders. So what we need to get over this and to break this violence, vicious violence cycle, and the Israelis' violent campaign in Gaza, and the Israelis' overreaction and intoxication with power. We need to some Israelis to just stop following orders, stop playing football, and stop playing the beautiful game of soccer. This is Ahmed Sarwat, the host of Ahmedia. Please don't forget to subscribe, check our website.